This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Will, A Wonderful World. In the last episode, Alicia and Chang dealt with their own problems. She was dealing with trying to take a kill and get a black box, finding out that there's another sniper, but she survived in the end, got her dragon tattoo, so now she's the lady with the dragon tattoo. And Chang, unfortunately, lost one of his companions in Unit 4, but was able to save Kang. Why did someone give him the anonymous tip? And why was Kang set for murder? Well, we won't find that out. Well, actually, maybe we will, because it's Kang's turns next. So let's check out Park and Kang's story with Breaking Out. My name is Park Sang-gun. I am 14 years old. I lived in a mental hospital. The vice president of the hospital was Dr. Lee Yoon-seok. He was also my supervising doctor. Ever since I'd been sent there at 12 years old, so it's been 2 years since he's been there, he has been abusing me for sadistic pleasure. Didn't want to hear that today. I used to cry out loud in my room and hide, but they would scream at me to shut up. I tried keeping a diary to relieve my stress, but the gorillas and nurses would read it behind my back. When I was feeling extremely desperate, I would pick up the pen and stab myself with it. Oh, good. He's got he feels like cutting himself and give him not really pleasure, just that he's alive or whatever. I forced myself not to cry, no matter how painful it was. It was an exercise. After a while, I gradually became numb to the pain. That's why it'd be less painful that I had to go to that room again. Most of the nurses in the hospital were women, but I did come to know one male nurse. His name was kind of reminds me of Nurse Fokker from Meet the Fockers. His name was Lee Young-seok. The other nurses said that he was the nephew of Lee Yoon-seok, and that was the only reason he got the job. Every Tuesday night, he would take me to Lee Yoon-seok's office. He would then just wait outside until it was over. He would then bring me back to my room. One day he noticed my scars. He could tell that some of them were not caused by his uncle. After he found out that I had been hurting myself, he decided to confiscate my pen. Coward. He knew what his uncle had been doing. I also knew that he'd read my diaries too. He was too afraid to stop his uncle, but he would take away my pen? I have to cut myself, man. I closed the door. I threw myself at his feet, held onto his legs, and began crying at the top of my lungs. As expected, he panicked and touched my head with his hands, trying to console me. You're being a good man, or if you are a good man, you are being a good man doing nothing. Evil's winning, dude. Since that moment, he became an ally of mine. As an ally, Lee Young-seok would sometimes use his limited powers to get me some small privileges. For instance, I could walk in the garden a little longer than the others. If I could hold on a little longer, maybe I could even find a chance to escape from here. Just when the tiniest ray of hope was beginning to show, I heard a piece of horrible news. My mom had died. Apparently, she committed suicide, I guess, or at least according to the cat story, anyway. I heard it from the nurses. None of them would even tell me the news to my face. But they would gossip about me behind my back, commenting on what a poor child I was. I didn't want their pathetic sympathy. I just wanted Mom. For the last 2 years, no one had ever visited me. Why had Mom never come to visit me? I knew why. He must have done something. It must have something to do with Dad. He sold me off first, kept torturing Mom at home, and prevented her from visiting me. He was not my dad. He was a bad person, a monster. I wanted to kill him. I pretended I hadn't heard the news. Every night, I would cover my face with my blankets, and the nurses wouldn't notice me crying. In secret, however, I began to plan my escape. Another Tuesday night. It was in a room without light. There was only pale moonlight. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? He and I, two people. Everything was exactly the same as 2 years ago, except for the lack of a sinister smell in the air. I had long given up the fight, so he no longer needed something like that to subdue me. But this night wouldn't be the same as usual. He didn't expect for me to pick up the chair and throw it at his head. He pushed me to the ground. Lee Yoon-seok was outraged. He slapped me square in the face twice with both of his hands. I fell to the ground. Everything looked like a blur. I didn't have any more strength to fight back. The chair only broke the phone behind him. I knew that I had to be physically stronger to have a chance. But the horrible diets and the mental and physical torture I'd been subjected to was only making me weaker and weaker every day. What is with this horn song playing? What is with this? This is totally inappropriate. The door opened. I didn't have to look to know it was Lee Young-seok. He had seen this scene countless times before. He doesn't feel well today. Shall we wait? He doesn't feel well today. Shall we wait until another day? Pigs were flying. When did he start defending me? and he chuckled twice, despite my bleeding lip. Who gave you permission to speak? Facing the rage of his uncle, the little bit of courage Li Yongqiao had mustered up crumbled immediately. He walked out of the room in silence, closed the door behind him. Nothing had changed. Li Yongqiao took off his belt and thrashed the back of my legs, followed by the usual routine to add to the myriad of scars on my back. Nothing had changed. No, that wasn't true. Something had changed. I had changed. I was no longer that same kid from 2 years ago, even though I couldn't really remember what it had been like back then. Nevertheless, I knew one thing for sure. Even if I became a pile of worthless human garbage, I would not stay here forever. I wanted to go home. I had to go home. God, do you hear my wish? Park Sang-gun. Ugh. Oh God, what? Who just enjoys like kids getting? Anyway, a plan gone awry. Okay, now this. Okay, what is with these music selections recently, or just sound effects? Freaking me out, man. No, anyway. I was lying on my bed with my eyes closed. I could feel the breeze coming and going. The annoying mosquitoes kept interrupting my thoughts. Damn pests. I flicked the bloody body of a mosquito away like a small booger. Dinner time. A small tray was pushed inside through the tiny window. A bowl of rice, a plate of cabbage, 2 pieces of fried chicken, and a banana. Why do I only... I was doing my Russian voice. Why do I only get 1 piece of chicken? Wait. Oh, it's usually 2, but anyway. The fat man in the opposite cell yelled at the guard who was delivering the meals. Oh, the other... Okay. Why do I only get 1 piece of chicken? He didn't get an answer. I picked up the banana from the tray and started peeling it. My diet had actually become much healthier ever since I'd been sent here. I had never had a meal on time back at the police station. And the food was always burgers, chicken, fries, occasional leftovers that had been around for far too long. There have been a few times I got to eat some nice meals, though, when Chang Gyeong-Min would bring over some of his homemade bentos. The kid would always say something like, a healthy body is necessary to defend justice, which made him sound like a whiny old lady. But I was starting to miss that kid. I had no idea how he'd been doing. Must be in a lot of trouble right now. Or maybe not. People who'd framed me must be keeping him out of this case altogether. What happened to Min Jun was all my fault. On the day I went to rescue Jae-yeon, I had tried to get Min Jun to join the mission, but I hadn't been able to reach him. The kid had always been the one person who never missed a call. It was the first time ever that I couldn't find him. I should have realized something must have gone wrong then. He never showed up at the police station afterwards either. I told Chang Gyeong-Min that Min Jun had been sick, but I honestly had no idea where he'd been. It turned out that he was dead, and his body had been hidden in my room. He must have known something, and they had killed him for it. The murderer must have also known that it was the same day as the anniversary of the lieutenant's death. I even knew that I would be very drunk that day, so he would have a better chance of success. 2 birds, 1 stone. I had some idea who that bastard could be. I had no evidence at the moment. I needed to find a way to get out of here first. I assume he's in jail. A tall shadow moved on the cell floor. Ugh. The guard who brought me the tray was still here. He was watching me eat almost like he was monitoring me. His name was Young Hayok. At least that's what I heard the other guards call him. He was over 2 meters tall and very muscular. Must be the most menacing person in the detention center. Anyone who stood before him might feel like they were standing in front of a impenetrable wall of flesh. No, I didn't actually say that. However, Young Hayok had a secret. Detention Center number 6 was a prison that used to exclusively hold police officers who had been in trouble. It did not belong to the police system, and therefore was under the supervision of the police bureaucracy. Therefore, everyone who had been thrown in here had to go through a ritual. The fat man opposite cell was locked up because of a 50 million won bribe. Every day, he and I were forced to strip naked and were blasted by cold water. Kind of reminds me of Super Troopers. It wasn't that much different than a cold shower to me. But the fat man, he'd be screaming bloody murder every time the water hit him. I mean, I'm not a fan of cold water either, but I'd probably go, whoa, that's cold. But I don't know. The more he screamed, however, the more excited the guards would get. Jeez, people had a weird sense of excitement and entertainment value. For them, it had turned into some kind of entertainment. Young Hyok's reaction, however, seemed a little different than the rest of the cheering mob. One of my best buddies was gay. Okay, and I could sense the same vibe from him. Oh, your gaydar is working? That's how that works? I was about to say, what does it matter? I was like, oh, okay. The fat man yelled at me in a lowered voice. Hey, can I trade the banana for your chicken? Dude, I'm not gay. I had a friend that was gay. I don't know. I'm thinking that you're secretly. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Come out of the closet like Tom Cruise. Come out of the closet. No. Screw you. ... I suddenly had an idea, but I needed someone's help. 20 minutes later, young Hyuk came back to take the trays away. There was something extra in the tray, a small paper note. I'm starting to do the other voice for a while. Sorry. Now all I could do was wait until midnight of that middle of the night. 12 a.m. Most people fall asleep, but I was sitting in a chair in the interrogation room that seen numerous occupants. A piece of yellow tape covered my mouth. My hands had been cupped behind my back. Brand new scars had been added to the current collection on my body. I had made a mistake. Young Hyuk was standing under the fluorescent light with a belt in his hand. His uniform was now soaking wet with sweat. Just a moment ago, the belt had hit me in my left eye, which was so bruised that I couldn't even open it anymore. I absolutely hated these simple-minded meatheads, especially when they could overpower me. If he had simply agreed to my proposal, I would have let my buddies finally find him a few handsome guys as a thank you, then everyone would have been happy. Is it just that easy? Maybe it is. Now he's just torturing me for nobody's benefit. Well, since enticement had not worked out, that left me with the only other choice: threats. Although, how was I supposed to threaten him under the current condition? Should I summon that guy? It didn't seem like a good idea. Young Hyuk seemed like he would never get tired. The pain he inflicted on me was almost to the edge of what I could tolerate. I had been trying my best to control it, but in the end, he still woke up. The light from the swinging light bulb cast moving shadows on his impatient face. Idiot. I took out the pen and stabbed it into him. The pen ran right through his eye socket and into his brain. He was dead in an instant, and so was my consciousness. When I woke up, I found myself back in the cell. It was a different one this time, and there were more guards at the door. I felt in my pocket. As usual, there was another note. I opened it and said, "Your clothes stink. I told them to get you 2 new sets." That bastard had landed me into a big mess. All he cared about was some clean clothes. I now had another life on my hands. Min Jun's case was still highly inconclusive, but this one was much more straightforward. I had indeed killed young Hyuk. How could this have happened? Damn it! Kang Baekya. Well, that's kind of messed up. Man, everyone's getting into the torture scenes of the game, huh? Well, actually, Alicia already had that earlier, so it's just like, man, everyone's just getting beat up and whipped and chained and all this other crap. Alright, anyway, let's solve this one. Alright, how many variations have we got? Let me see. Okay, history. 5. 8. Well, that seems a bit more than for him, but alright, whatever. Alright, let's figure this out. Retry. Okay, so I guess we could just do the obvious ones where we do one over the other. So let's just see what this gets us. Everything I did wasn't able to stop young Hyuk. I lost consciousness when young Hyuk eventually pinned me down to the floor. When I woke up, found myself back in the cell. I felt my pocket. There were no notes this time. Usually that guy would leave me a message before I left, although there were a couple of times before that he had left without a note. I had been living with him for 6 years. Still couldn't figure him out. 6 years? Oh, are you talking about the guy in your brain or your second personality? I put my hand in my pocket and held the pen. My palms were already sweating. I heard your mother died. I heard that your mother died. William Seal suddenly spoke. I didn't expect him to hear him mention my mom, but I had no intention of saying anything to him. You might not know this, she had come to visit you quite a few times. How could he? I'd never seen her even once. He must be lying. What was he trying to do this time? I stared at him, my hands clenched harder. But she was very ill, even more so than you, so I didn't let her see you. No, he was lying. He was lying. How could Mom be ill? Mom wasn't ill, neither was I. So he was a liar. A big fat liar. This saxophone does not work for the singing game. My hands were trembling. Your mother came from the same cognitive dissonance disease. It was hereditary. You've always said that your father would beat you and your mother all the time, but the truth was the opposite. It was your mother who beat you and your father. As you are too close to your mother, your subconscious is unwilling to admit to yourself that she can be so violent and abusive. Therefore, when the bad things happen, the roles of your parents could be switched in your mind without even you realizing it. I almost lost the strength to keep standing. My heart started to feel like it was going to explode. Her head. How could this be possible? Your father, realizing your mother was getting worse, paid a lot of money to let us take you in. He thought that we could help you with your condition and that you would be able to save here too. Yet, well, he didn't know that there was no cure. Besides, boys like you are always my favorite, especially the sick ones. Even if he comes and gets you back one day, you tell anyone anything you shouldn't, no one will ever believe you. I can't tell you how glad I was when your father brought you to me. That's bastard! How could he, why would he lie to me like this? Can't he torture me enough? I must kill him! That's the way to solve it. No, I'm not joking, that's the way to solve it, dude. I raised my right hand up and stabbed towards his chest with the pin. He dodged to the side and punched me right in the stomach. Yi Zhi pushed my head against the floor hard. He ruffled my hair and laughed at the sight of my powerlessness. There was nothing I could do but be pinned down to the ground. I wanted to cry, but there was no more tears. The dark truth. Ooh. Well, that's good to know. Alright, let's see what happens if we put everything on this side here. Let's see. Let's see what this gets us. I had a bad feeling. I had to get him back in here before it's too late. I stepped away from the corner of the dark room and walked towards the center. The mysterious invisible force appeared again, almost immediately. It was as if there were numerous dark hands that were pushed on my shoulders, grabbing at my ankles, trying to stop me from walking into the light and regaining control of my body. I was pushed down to the ground, but I kept crawling. More hands were grabbing my feet, my legs, and dragging me in the opposite direction. I could not give in. I would not give in. At last I grabbed my feet. Enough, you bastard! Get out of here! The hand suddenly scared away. I could see clearly again. The rain was gone. The belt hit my face. The belt hit my face once again. I was starting to go to my other voices there for a second. Young Hayok didn't notice any changes that I had just gone through. He was continuing that senseless torture. I had to carry on. The pain right now was nothing to me, especially compared to those people who died 6 years ago. This is absolutely nothing. Boy interrupted? What? Anyway. Li Zhi was outraged. He slapped me square in the face twice with both of his hands. I fell to the ground. Everything looked like a blur, and I didn't have any more strength to fight back. The chair only broke the phone behind him, and he was able to dodge the pin when I tried to stab him. I only hurt his shoulder a little. Wait, why am I getting... I knew I had to be physically stronger to have a chance. With the horrible diet and the mental physical torture I had been subjected to was making me weaker and weaker every day. The door opened. I didn't have to know how it... I didn't have to look to know it was Li Zhi. Uncle, why is your shoulder bleeding? Do you need some help with that? His voice was shaking, but I could tell he mustered all of his courage just to say something. Who gave you permission to speak? His courage was only met with more insults from Yi Zhi, so he walked out of the room in silence as usual and closed the door behind him. As soon as the door was shut, Li Zhi slapped me again. You little weakling, I'm gonna make you shed some blood today, too. He walked up to his desk and picked something up. Then he came back to me. Before he realized what happened, it was too late. He lifted the object high in the air and brought it down with great force. My excruciating scream echoed through the entire hospital, but not a single person cared. So did we die, or did he just knock our asses out? Okay, so we got an A ending with him, so not quite. And apparently one of those guys an achievement too, so hooray! Alright. Now time to figure out some of our bad endings and good endings, and all that other stuff. Okay. Okay, let's see what this gets us. Just start doing those combos, man. He was able to dodge the pin when I tried to stab him. I only hurt his shoulder a little bit. Slap me square in the face. Fight back. The door opened. Leon, shoulder blade, help. He's such a pussy, and walked away while a screaming child is being hurt. What an asshole. Slap me again. Gonna make you bleed, or shed some blood. Oh, he just slammed him with something. Okay, that was only slightly different too. Young Hayok hit me straight in the face was hit in the face by the chair. He lost his balance and fell to the ground. He watched as I broke the handcuffs on my bare hands. I couldn't process what he was seeing. 1, 2, 3. I stomped his bloody face with my feet over and over again. I had once seen myself break another unfortunate bastard's arm with one stomp. If I kept going, he was going to die. I stepped away from the corner of the dark room and walked towards the center. Mysterious force appeared again almost immediately. Oh, it's kind of appearing again. Control my body. Kept crawling, opposite directions, couldn't give in. Grabbed my feet, enough, you get out of here. Get out of here, you fool. Young Hayok was in the corner of the room, looking at me with fear. He reminded me of a frightened little rabbit. I had scared him, and he had not realized that the person standing in front was a different one now. There was a wallet on the floor. It wasn't mine. I picked it up. There were a few bills, a credit card, and a receipt from a gay bar from only a few days ago, as well as a family photo. A beautiful wife, lovely daughter. Oh, he's in one of those relationships because he's like, it's one of those things you probably realized after the fact and then couldn't go back to that because, you know, it's just like he didn't want to ruin what he had and all that other stuff. I've heard this tale before. What a happy family. The happy ladies sure had no idea what of the secret life that husband, father, and family believed. Kind of reminds me of the Butters episode of South Park. The little rabbit had no other choice. Oh, his S rank is basically finding out about that, so, huh. Neat. Okay, so we got, and then we still got a few more with Park here. Okay, so let's try figuring those out. No, let's see what this gets us. Okay, maybe swap the ones around for him and see if that gets anything from Kang.
Oh, quite brave, aren't you?
He noticed the pin in my pocket. I tried to grab it, but he slapped me square in the face with both of his hands. I fell to the ground. Everything looked like a blur, and I didn't have any more strength to fight back. I think we've seen this before. The other thing had changed. Okay, so that's another bad ending. Let's see if switching these will get anything from that. Nope. Okay. So I don't do anything with that. Okay. Let's see if we can get some better endings for the kid, hopefully. Well, I mean, we got the B ending already, but let's see if this gets us anything. Well, at least it gets us in. And swap that up and see if that does anything for Kang. The chair only hits his shoulder. Lee Seok screamed in pain and covered his injured shoulder with one hand. What happened, Uncle? The door opened. Lee Young-chae was standing at the door. He was a little surprised to see an injured Lee Young-seok.
He isn't feeling well today.
Does it feel well today? Should we wait till another day? The pins were flying. Okay, bleeding lip. Anger, walked over his nephew and slapped. Oh, not the other thing. Lee Young-seok walked straight up again, his lip trembling with fear. He walked towards his nephew and slapped him square in the face.
Who gave you permission to speak? Take this little weak back to his room and no dinner tonight!
On the way back, he kept his head down and didn't say a word. That evening, I didn't have anything to eat. I guess that's slightly better than what we got, that's for sure. Yeah, those. I'm sorry. Generally the music choice in this game has been pretty good, but I feel like here it's like severely inappropriate. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling anyway. So maybe that's on purpose because this isn't supposed to be an appropriate moment. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like it's out of place. But whatever. Let's see. Trying to just think of the combos I could use. See if that works. Oh, that gets us the last one for Kang, and then that means we only have like an option for the best ending for them, or hopefully we get the best ending. I don't know. I lost my consciousness when young Seok eventually pinned me down to the floor. I woke up and found myself back in the cell. Felt my pocket. No notes this time. Oh, nope, okay. No. Okay, that was the same. I plunged the dip deep into his throat. He stumbled back, pulled out the pin, and threw it to the floor. Lots of blood was gushing out the hole in his neck. I could see that he wanted to kill me very badly. However, with one hand covering his wound, he tripped and lost his balance, making a mess of the floor. Sudi was lying on the floor with his eyes wide open, but he was no longer breathing. Lee Young-chae must have heard the noise when I had thrown the chair. He pushed the door open and saw the gruesome corpse of Lee Young-seok. Would he cover him for me? I don't know that's his uncle, but then again, his uncle was a dick, so... He only hesitated for a second before he pushed the arm. Of course he didn't defend me. What an asshole. Then he picked up his uncle's gun and pointed at me, telling me not to move or he'd shoot me. I suddenly understood something. He was always just a spineless little coward. That might be why, even though his uncle hired him, he had never been promoted. Soon the police arrived. I got my wish to leave the hospital, but I didn't get my freedom. People would later argue whether or not I was truly mentally ill. Some people said that my medical record had been forged, that I should be sentenced to prison despite being a minor. Other people said that I was truly ill and I should stay in the hospital to continue my treatment. The arguments lasted for a long, long time. And that's the A rank? Whoo boy. Anyway, so do we have everything for... Okay. So Kang's almost done, so we just need to get the last little bit for the park here. Let's try to get him the best ending for him. Or at least a somewhat reasonable ending, if anything. I plunged the pin deep in his throat. Okay, it's bad. Gushing out of his hole. Lots of blood was gushing out of the hole in his neck. I could see that he wanted to kill me very badly. However, with one hand covering his wound, he tripped and lost his balance, making a mess of the office. Oh no, that's the same. No more breathing. He was dead, but that was too good for him. Before anyone knows what's happened, I quickly searched the entire room. I found this hospital keycard and some cash and a Swiss Army knife. I ripped his clothes off and put them on myself so that mine wouldn't get bloody. Then I decided to cut him. He couldn't feel it, but I thought it was his turn to suffer. In that moment, I felt so relieved. Even the air in the room felt suddenly cleansed. I opened the window and slid down the drain pipe. The security guard on duty was watching TV in his office at the main gate. I ducked down and snuck past his window, opening the main gate with a swipe of the keycard and ran outside. Finally, I was free! Free! Finally, I could go home. Too bad that's not going to be possible, dude. I walked all the way home with the flimsy clothes I was wearing. I walked back to Alex's seafood store. I walked past Sumi's family bakery. I walked past the tobacco and alcohol store that I'd forgotten to look up. I picked up the most expensive bottle of vodka from the shelf. It was for my dad. Twice a week, 8 times a month, multiplies by 12, 9 by 96, 2 times 192. Let me round it up to 200. I was walking briskly. At the same time, I was quietly calculating how many times Mom had been hit by Dad for the past 2 years. Just an estimate. It was almost sunrise when I finally saw my family's yet familiar strange home. As I expected, my dad was sound asleep. I changed into Mom's favorite coat. Then I went into the kitchen and picked up the knife that Mom used to cut meat. At last, I came to Dad's bed. Dad, I'm home! 1, 2, 3. 3 times I cut my dad to pieces. 66, 67. The sound of the knife going in and out his body was almost a musical melody. 122, 123, 124, 199, 200. Blood was splashed all over the bed and the floor. It was disgusting. I sprinkled the vodka that I brought home all over around the bed in the room. Then I lit a match. Bye, Dad. Bye, Mom. The small flame was jumping and growling. It had become bigger and bigger. In the end, it grew so big that it swallowed this place I used to call home. I had never seen anything more beautiful. In the ashes, I would start a brand new life. Good for you for your S rank? My god. This game does not pull any punches, let's just say that much. Oh, that... I wonder if those S ranks are required, because have you noticed that some of them aren't colored properly? They're like white blocks as opposed to like their standard color. I don't know. It just seems a little weird or different or whatever, so. Well, that was a messed up story. Perhaps for something a little bit more light with Alicia's story? Probably not. Oh, and you don't like the story when it says an 18-year-old boy, do you? Well, is there anything different in the profiles before you call the episode? Probably. I bet, oh no, you would think his profile would change after what happened, basically. Other than giving new info, it looks like no one else looks really anything. It looks like we're still missing a couple of characters, though. I'm kind of wondering if most of the other characters we don't have are going to be minor characters. Because I feel like the ones that we've been playing with the whole time are major characters. Well, Rocky had only had the one, so I feel that's all he's going to have, but I don't know. Anyway, in the next episode of Will, A Wonderful World, yeah, Wonderful World indeed, it's time to go back to Alicia again with an 18-year-old boy. That doesn't sound vulgar. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.